Alright, so this area right in here is going to be my campsite. I've scouted out, it's fairly flat. This is actually a pretty hilly area. I mean, there's lots of valleys, as you maybe can tell. So I'm going to pick this spot right here. It's pretty flat. There's nothing up ahead that's going to fall on me. That's something you definitely want to always make sure that there's nothing above you that's going to get you. And so it's looking like a pretty good spot. I also have a stream fairly nearby. Down at the bottom of the valley, there is a stream that I could filter water if I needed to. Although I think I'm probably going to be all right with the amount of water I have. So, you know, just seeing as this is going to be a little bit more a little bit more durable structure. If I did have to make an extended stay, I'd want to make sure that there were resources around me that I could utilize. So this is a pretty good spot. So I'm going to start looking for both firewood and building materials. Alright guys, so it's getting dark. I have my shelter up. So you can tell I have a tripod on that end. In the center, I have 2 branches. And then at the end there, I actually braced it up against a tree. So down here, kind of see what's going on. I have paracord strung across the these two branches, and the tension pulling these down is keeping these ropes tight. Down here in this section where my midsection will be, I actually put double cordage just to give some more support so that I don't sink down too much. And then you can see what I did here. This center tree right there is actually still alive, and then I made a little A-frame on the back side that's resting up against it. So this is where I'll be sleeping tonight. I also, you'll notice I just did put one extra brace on this side, just because this main beam, I don't exactly trust it completely, and I don't really want to fall in the middle of the night, so I thought I'd put an extra bracing there. So I do have a tarp that I'll be putting over the top, just like an A-frame, and it's getting a little dark, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll try to show it to you, but if not, you'll definitely see it in the morning. I haven't gotten a fire going yet, but the plan is still to make a fire. We'll see, if time allows. Alright, we're going to see if we can get a fire going here. This is, kind of a log cabin style fire. I've just got some small little twigs down here, some wood that I split up, and a piece of homemade good thick wax paper down there, just to start it off. So, let's just start with a match. Well, no, try a lighter. It's the easiest solution, right? Alright, that took. Let's see if we can get a fire going. Like I said earlier, it's been raining for like a week solid, so it's really hard to find good dry wood out here. You heard that one crack, so I have found some. I did cut down a standing deadwood, and that really helped. Well, I put a whole little block of my wax paper in there. I'll maybe show you what I mean by that in the morning, when you can see a little bit better. And it's going. Don't know if it's going to keep going. This is kind of the tricky part. Makes you think you have a fire, but it's not really to the self-sustaining point, so this could go out pretty quick too. Trying to get as much wood on here as possible so that it can all start drying out. Alright guys, so I've got a fire going. It's not like a blazing fire yet, but it's going solid right now. It hasn't gone out yet. So with this wet wood, I'm happy with that for now. So just going to try to get it going a little bit better, but it's coming along. Didn't have to use any accelerants or anything, just some wax paper and a lighter. You can hear it like hissing, all the water is evaporating out of this wood. Yeah, when I turn the light out, it's pitch black out here in the woods. With the tree cover and everything. I think in the city you don't, truly appreciate complete darkness all that often. I mean, as humans we tend to light up our spaces, there's always street lights or night lights or emergency lights or, something there. But Out here, it is pitch black. Little creepy, I suppose, if you're not used to it, you know? Especially if you're all alone like I am tonight. If you got somebody else, you know, to talk to, it makes a lot better. But if you're not here all alone, pitch black, and you see like eyes looking back at you, it can get just a little bit creepy. This is the red setting on that headlight I got. It's pretty dim, but it's kind of nice. Preserves your night vision a bit. And I suppose it also uses less battery, which is always good. There we go. That's starting to take off. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Good stuff. Fire was mostly made by that Gerber hatchet. Don't know if you can see that. Gerber hatchet did most of it. So, for, you know, nice small package in a day pack, it's definitely very capable. Built that shelter and the fire. Not too shabby. I think in the winter time I'd still want the large survival knife saw collection or combination, because I feel like in the winter time it's a lot more important to, you know, cut larger logs and really get to the inside. If you've ever done that in the winter time, you'll know that the only way you're going to get a fire started is by getting to the inside of logs and really getting to that heartwood that's still dry. But for a summertime thing like this, where, you know, fire's not necessarily totally critical, it's only going to get down to maybe 55 or 60 degrees tonight, and you know, you're not worried about cutting, you know, really large diameter logs and stuff. I think that hatchet's definitely a very viable option. Probably turn my light out now. Yep. Guess I'll show you the shelter, the way it turned out. I did end up getting a tarp on it. So the shelter is right there. And so I have a tarp. That flap right there, I left open. The rest of the corners I did tie down with a length of cord and a stake to the ground. So that corner right there I can lift up in order to get into it. I also tied it on each end, so it should be pretty good. I mean, I'm not expecting like a storm or high winds or anything. If I was, I could tie it down even more, guy it out even more, and be good to go. I'm expecting my back will probably hurt in the morning from sleeping on all those cords, so I'm pretty much staying awake till I'm good and tired. And when I'm about ready to fall over, I'll go to bed and you know, hopefully just pass out. Alright, let's do some more cutting with the Gerber hatchet. I don't know if you can tell, I'm just going around the radius of this log, so I just keep rotating it, hitting it a few times. I'm not hitting straight down, I'm hitting at kind of an angle, and I got this big log in between me and the axe, so if it slipped, it'd just go away from me. So this is a pretty safe way to use an axe, and when you use an axe or a hatchet, you really got to be safety conscious. I mean, you're swinging a razor sharp blade, so if you get careless, you can get yourself hurt pretty quick, and if you're out, you know, pretty far away from civilization, that can be a real bad thing. Fortunately, tonight we're not actually too far from civilization if I were to get hurt, but the other thing is you don't actually have to cut all the way through. Just gotta get to the point where it'll break. Like that. Alright guys, so just going to clean up camp a little bit, let the fire burn down, and probably turn in for the night. So, what time is it? Let me check. It's just about 11 o'clock. So, not too late, but I'm definitely tired. Definitely did more work, you know, manual labor than I do on an average day. So, appreciate you guys watching. I'll give you an update in the morning. Alright guys, so I'll just give you a look inside the tripod shelter. But before we do that, I'm going to test out Life Straw.